Howdy everyone, it's Lalo over at Game Nerd Country, and today is Monday, which means that today is Amonkhet Magic League. So some of you may be wondering, what is the Amonkhet Magic League? Well, it is a limited format where you build a deck out of boosters that you're given at your LGS. You may not bring cards from home, or have a pre-built deck that you make here and you take over there. You can't do that. So basically what you do is you show up at your LGS, which mine is Astro Kitty over at Game Nut, and you pay the $6 is how much we had to pay entry fee, and that gets you 3 booster packs. So you go sit down at a table, you open up your boosters, and you write down all the cards that are in your booster, and they're doing this just so keep track, make sure that people aren't bringing in other cards for the cheaters. And then after you write it all down, which takes a while, you build a 30 card deck. So that's a 30 card minimum deck. You want to pretty much stick to 30, that way your deck is consistent. Build your deck, and then you play against anybody who's there for league. You play a match, and a match is 1 round, so they're really quick games, and everyone's on the same page. I mean, you only have what you opened up to work with. Nobody really got to choose or spend more money on a certain card to have in their deck and beat everyone else with. Sometimes you get lucky and you get a really awesome card in a booster that can give you an advantage, but I think most of it is just knowing what to put in your deck. And then after every match, refining your deck, changing it out. Things that worked, you keep, and the things that didn't, you change them out. Use something in your sideboard. And at the end of the day, you record, your wins and your losses. At the end, our LGS is going to have prizes for, the most wins, the most improved, things like that. And so then every week after that, you get to add 1 more booster pack. So, and you have to pay for that one at the rate. Right now, the price is like $3 per pack. So that's not too bad. You get to add a booster pack, and you get to add, change your deck out. However, the rest of the cards go in your sideboard. Also, after every 3 losses, you get to add a booster pack. If you want to buy them or whatever, you can add another booster pack and go through it as an addition to the one you get every week. They also give you a little box to keep your cards in. All your cards go in that deck box, and they stay at the store. You can retrieve them at any time, so if in the middle of the week you want to go in and play League, you can do that. If there are other League players there, you can get your box and play. I'm just going on Mondays because I don't really have time to go in every day of the week. But there's that option too. I'm not sure if they count those like losses as losses for the ones that you can buy boosters for. Maybe they do. Not really sure how that works. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So hopefully, if we can record in there, we'll have a little bit of I'll show you guys my deck, and we'll open up the booster pack for this week and see if there's anything super amazing in it, and see if I want to change my deck or not. Last Monday, we played 2 games. Played against my friend Ashley, who is making her own YouTube video here pretty soon. We'll have one up and running. It'll be music and stuff, but we'll let you guys know. But she goes to Magic League with me, and I played her both times. So right now I'm at 2 wins. Deck seems to be doing pretty well. And today, hopefully, I'll get to play against some other people as well and see how my deck stands. Alright then, we'll catch you at the Magic League. Alright, so I went to the Magic League and didn't actually end up recording anything because there were people playing games around and like working on their decks and stuff. And I didn't want to just like ramble on about my deck and what's going on with it and distract everyone else. I did get a picture of the cool things in my deck. Can't really see much in it because my phone camera really sucks. But I will go over what's in my deck and show you kind of that way. First match, I played against someone new. His name was Brandon. Won't forget that because he beat me. We decided to do, I guess you can choose to make a match either one round, which is what they want you to do, or you can do the best 2 out of 3. We decided to do best 2 out of 3 because the first one, he beat me bad. It was fast and ruthless. And the second time, put up a fight, but he still managed to beat me. And then after that, I played with friend Ashley again, and we did a best 2 out of 3. Won both those games. I didn't really get anything all that great in my booster pack. I got one card really that I added in there and took another one out. But basically, it didn't really do much for my deck. I may be looking into it sometime this week and changing it out. The only bad thing is you have to go to the store to do anything with your deck, and that's why I can't show you my cards here or anything, not until after League is over, which could be till the end of the month. So we're going to go over the cards that I have and kind of what they do. I have 4 colors, which people think I'm crazy for running 4 colors in a limited format because you don't get to have a lot of land cards to use. Other than with my first match, it's worked out well. We're going to start with red creatures that I have. First one I'm going to go over is On-Crop Crasher. He's a 3/2 creature for 2 and a red. He has haste, so he can go ahead and attack as soon as he comes out. And you can exert him, which exerts a mechanic now. When you attack, you can exert. If you do, they do something a little extra special for you, but they don't untap your next turn. So they have to wait 1 turn because they're tired because they exerted themselves. So if you exert it, you can choose a target creature that can't block this turn. So that works really well. Exert them. Someone has a really huge blocker out there, or one that dies and comes back as a zombie or whatnot. You can make it not block, and then you can go ahead and attack. So that one's worked out pretty well for me. The next one we're going to go over is True Heart Twins. It's a 4/4 creature for 4 and a red. Also has the exert mechanic, and when you exert a creature, creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. So that happens if you have more than 1 exert and you exert them all during one battle, then that triggers separate times for each one of those. So your creatures can end up being really powerful after that. Next one is Channeler Initiate, and this one is going into the green creatures. It's a 3/4 for 1 and a green. When it enters a battlefield, you have to put 3 -1, -1 counters on a creature you control. And a lot of people are like, well, that kind of sucks, but you can put it on Channeler Initiate, makes it a 0/1 afterwards. But then if you tap it, you remove a 1/1 counter and you can add a mana of any color to your mana pool. And that's why running the 4 colors in one deck doesn't really, you don't feel it as much, I guess, because you can choose a color that maybe you don't have yet that you need, and you can use it with Channeler Initiate. And every time you do that, the Initiate gets stronger. It's kind of like you're trying to prove your worth to the gods in Amonkhet, which is what all the story's about. The next one is Greater Sandworm. It's a 7/7 creature for 5 and 2 green. It can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less, so no chump blocking. And it has cycling too. So you pay, say you have it in your hand and you don't have the mana to pay for it, and you need something out there, you tap 2, discard that card, and you get to draw a new one. It's kind of like a gamble, which if you need mana, I mean, drawing cards from your library, you get draw advantage over your opponent. So cycle, get something new. Hopefully it's a land you can put down if you haven't put one down that turn, or you can get another creature, or you can get a Channeler Initiate, whatever. Seems to have worked. It seems to work out. Next one is Prowling Separapard, which is really hard to say, but it is a cat snake creature, and it's a 4/3 for 1 and 2 green, and it cannot be countered, and creature spells that you control cannot be countered. So once that's out there, unless they have some other kind of removal, they're not going to be able to counter whatever you want to put out there. Next one is Sheffet Monitor. It is a 6/5 for 5 and a green. And this one has cycling, and the cycling is 3 and a green. The cool thing about this one is when you cycle it, you first search your library for a basic land card or a desert card, and you put it on the battlefield, and it doesn't have to be tapped. So even if you've already put a land down that turn, cycle that card, you get to have another land out there. So that's a way to cheat a land into play. And then after that, you shuffle your library, and then you still get to draw a card for the cycling. So you get 2 cards for the price of 1, maybe 2 lands in 1 turn. Make it real cool. So that one's great. It's another reason why I can run 4 colors in one deck. Next one, going into black creatures, is Blighted Bat. It is a 2/1 for 2 and a black. It has flying, and if you pay 1, you can give the bat haste. It's alright. It's a flying creature, so I mean, there's that. It's evasion. Always gotta have one of those. Next one is Cursed Minotaur. It is a 3/2 creature for 2 and a black, and it has menace. So menace means that it can't block. It has to be blocked by more than 1 creature. So they can't just chump block with 1. It has to be 2 of their creatures. So that's kind of cool. It kind of deters people from blocking, or maybe they can't because they only have 1 creature. Even if it's one big one, there's not much they can do about it. Next one is Wasteland Scorpion. It's a 2/2 for 2 and a black, and it has Death Touch. So any amount of damage is enough to kill any creature. And it has cycling for 2. So again, if you don't want to play that card, you have something better in your hand, or you need more mana, or you want your big worm creature and you want to draw it or whatever, you can cycle that out and try to get something better. The only blue creature that I have in this is Slitherblade. It is a 1/2 for an island for a blue, and it can't be blocked. So that one, even though I only have 1 of it, I think showed up just about every round, and it just kind of pings at me. It's just 1 damage every time. They can't block it, and I guess it's a really pain in the butt for opponents. Just a tiny one though, because it's 1 damage. And then now we're going to other spells. Cartouche of Knowledge. It's an enchantment aura. For 1 and a blue, you can enchant a creature you control. When it enters the battlefield, when the cartouche does, you draw a card, and then the enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has flying. So again, that gives it evasion, makes it a little more powerful. You also get to draw a card. Doesn't get any better than that. uh, Also, to go with that cartouche, one of the cards that I added to the deck that I drew in the booster is the Trial of Zeal, which is an enchantment and it costs 2 and a red. When it enters the battlefield, it deals 3 damage to target creature or player. And whenever a cartouche comes in, you get to return the Trial of Zeal to your hand. So then you can cast it again and deal the 3 damage again. So I only have one of each in there, so that I didn't really get to do that whole bring it back to your hand and then cast it again. I'm hoping maybe sometime I can, or if I open up another booster and I happen to get another trial or a cartouche, that'd be awesome. Switch it out for something. It doesn't really work. We'll go over that. Actually, the next one, Floodwaters, sorcery. For 4 and 2 blue, you get to return 2 target creatures to their owner's hand. And it has cycling too. First of all, it costs 6 to cast, so by that time, it just doesn't really work. There's other things you can cast, like your sandworm or whatever. Um, so I just basically end up cycling that card. Like, that's all that really does. So I may get rid of that card. It's not really working for me. So you might be thinking, well, you're getting rid of a lot of creatures to draw other things. How does that work? Well, I have a Wander in Death, which is a sorcery. For 2 and black, and you can return up to 2 target creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. So those creatures that you cycled out for mana or maybe for a bigger creature, if you have the Wander in Death, you can bring them back, which is awesome because your opponent's like, you got rid of that card, something else out. Well, you know what? I'm going to get it back. Same if your opponent kills your creatures, they die, they think that that's the last they're going to see of them, but we know better. The only card that I have 2 of is an instant called Electrify, and it costs 3 and a red, and it's really awesome, really simple. All it does is it deals 4 damage to target creature, and it's done wonders. Really great for getting rid of creatures. My first night at League, I used 2 in a row to get rid of a creature, and it was awesome. And then, lastly, I have Stinging Shot, which is an instant. For just a green, and you put 3 -1/-1 counters on a target creature with flying. And if there are no creatures with flying, as was the situation at this last game, it has cycling for 2 again, so you can get rid of it, get something else. As far as lands go, I'm running 4 forests, 3 mountain, 3 swamp, and 3 islands. Uh, I may, depending on what I get in a booster, just get rid of the blue color and focus more on the other 3, but we shall see what we get. Anyway, that's been all for today, and we'll catch you all next week. Don't forget to subscribe to get any updates on any other videos that may be coming out, and like the video, and share with other people who you may know who like magic, or want to know, or maybe want to get into it, or whatever. Anyways, catch you later. Bye. Alright.